You wanted it. We have a talk from Lars himself, a short talk.
I didn't was enough on stage for the last 3 days, so I decided to give it another 10 minutes, probably a bit less. So I thought I really nag you about psychology, as I promised, and about books. I think it's quite important for each and every one of us. Doesn't matter if he's a manager, if it's a developer. We all need to be like dealing with the people around us. If someone's pretty well in doing his job and is not actually being perceived very well, he could do his job and he will never be picked up and will not have any success in the future. So there's one guy, actually, one author, which I do like pretty much. He's writing books. He's not a psychologist, but he's actually a journalist and has been writing quite a bit. And his name is Robert Greene, and he was born in 1959 and did a lot of different work. Started like being a journalist, then he actually built up that art school in Venice, and I put in the German word, sorry, I changed that. However, in Venice, and he actually figured out that a couple of the books are actually the work of Machiavelli, was quite interesting to him. There's a book called The Prince of Machiavelli, and he actually built up a modern version of that as his first book, which he called Power, and actually the 84 laws of power. And his way of writing books is totally different to what you would expect. It's not like this kind of, and by doing this and that, you go over there, and after looking into a several group of people, I did. No, he's different. As he's a journalist, he knows how to write. He knows how to actually get into stuff. So by writing a second book, which I actually started with, it's called Seduction. It's a very aggressive style of writing things. And for example, this is what I wanted to pick out there, is like the first law of how to seduce people. Actually, seduction is not only like seducing a woman or getting close to her, but it's also about like seducing your coworkers that you're good, that you're doing a pretty well job and all that stuff. So he's actually set up the first law, and the first law is choose the right victim. That sounds very aggressive, and all of the book is written in a way, and I just want to give you this first law is like summarized in a couple of sentences, and I want to read them at least to you to give you like an intro into the book. And it says, everything depends on the target of your seduction. Study your prey thoroughly and choose only those who will prove susceptible to your charms. The right victims are those for whom you can fill a void, who see in you something exotic. So basically it says that you can only make someone, or you can only seduce some person who's not totally confident. If you're confident, there's nothing you need. But make someone feel like he needs something, and you can seduce him. It says they are often isolated, or at least somewhat unhappy, because perhaps because of a recent adverse circumstances, or you can easily make them so. That sounds strange, but of course, if you make someone feel like he's missing something, and you isolate him from the group. And then actually, and this is actually what the book does, it's like 24 laws. So he actually tells you, find the right victim, and then it goes over to make your victim understand that you're his hero. Yeah, so you can actually start like showing that you're doing good stuff. And then you should actually leave that person. So he feels like, my hero's gone, my hero's gone. And if you have separated him up front, he has no one else to go. and then you go back. But this is the very aggressive type of writing this. The book generally is it's far more detailed. It's far more going into psychology about how people do things and how this mechanism works. And it's all about perception. As basically everything is about how you perceive life. If you feel like, if I would go like this now, and I would talk over and again like this. I could even make the best talk feel like it's crap. It's just the perception of it. You would need a lot of thinking to make this talk then feel good again. And actually, this is what this Robert Greene talks about in his books. And actually, Seduction is a book. There's one guy, I don't know how he did it, and actually why it's not deleted from the internet, but if you go to that link, you get the full book. I don't know why, but you could actually test read in there if it feels interesting to you. You can go over there. So this Robert Greene has not just written this one book, but of course he has written many over the time. So he started with this power, then going into seduction, how to seduce people, then going into war, so if you can't seduce someone, and if you need to make yourself like position 1 in some group, it's war. And then he actually teamed up with 50 Cent, the rapper, and rewrote his ideas in a more modern way, modern style, in the modern world, and communicating and social media and so on. And he said we need to have mastery in some cases. We have some strategic strategy we need to build up. And finally, and this is his last book, which just came out this year, it's The Law of Human Nature. And this is actually like explaining how humans are constructed, how they think, how they are actually working in a way from a psychological perspective. This book, this final book, The Law of Human Nature, has won the International Business Book Award this year. And it's pretty interesting to read. But if you ask me, I would start over with Seduction. It's a pretty slim book. Actually, this last one, Laws of Human Nature, is like the Bible itself. It's like 1,000 pages, and they are thin like nothing, and it's very small printed. It's a lot of text on there, but if you want to start like having this, you keep on smiling all over the time reading that book, as he's always having this touch of aggressiveness in there, that makes it far more easy to read than reading a typical book about psychology. So, if you want to go into that and want to learn actually how to manipulate people, it's all about that, and it's something you need to do in jobs quite often. Either you need to persuade someone to do something like a project, and this could be done by a developer, or you need to persuade people that you're doing a good job, or you need to persuade your team to actually continue working on something which is not as interesting as it's quite usual. So this would be my recommendation for you. Thank you.